Leisure, lifestyle, living. It's the new mantra of Pulse Investments. Now, the company may have started out as a modeling agency and events promotion company, but they've since evolved into a multi-billion-dollar, diverse international company. On the face of it, Pulse seems like they've got it going on. The models, the businesses, and oh gosh, real estate. But how did this all start? And when did they realize a fresh image was needed to portray this all-round experience? We'll find out. Safia, Kingsley, Romae. Wow, such a stylish trio. You guys look fabulous. I mean, you're representing the brand so well.
Yeah, this is why we're Pulse.
Exactly.
We have a campaign like that one time. This is why we're Pulse.
And we're here in the fabulous executive suite, the chairman's suite. Yes. Is your suite, Kingsley?
Yes, it is actually. Not what you see reflected around here are items that are special to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love it. I love it. So tell me about this location where we are. So we're at Pulse Center.
Right.
Tell me a bit about the history that went into this.
Well, we've actually been here at 38 Trafalgar Road since 1989 when I acquired the property. There was a time when it had another life, you know, when it was a location for MVP and Pepper C. You know, and that was a big activity here. You know, people would pass and say, boy, I passed your place, and I see a whole heap of people. Because, of course, somehow those events just attracted a huge turnout. And what was so interesting about Trafalgar Road is that if you are here Wednesday night or Friday night, and you see the masses, the sort of massive support in terms of patronage.
And when Kingsley says massive support, boy, he sure ain't lying.
Come Saturday morning or Thursday morning, you see a choir.
Newly transformed place.
So people who come in the daytime can't imagine what happens at night.
Right.
And people who come in the night can't imagine what happens in the day. So you don't have that two lives. You have a daytime personality and a nighttime personality. So, you know, that's just one of the ways in which we manage to diversify, to use a facility in different ways.
It's an eclectic property in that way.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Like I was telling Safia earlier, it reflects the diversity of your portfolio at Pulse Investments,
Exactly.
all the different things that you do and different branches of the business.
Exactly.
So now we are at leisure, lifestyle, living. What's the thought behind that new slogan?
Well, you know, it's where we are now. You know, it's been a journey, a 41-year journey to this point. And what we have done is an amalgamation of our various business lines, and we've added the creative business to the real business in terms of real estate. So you create a whole lifestyle brand where you can come to Pulse from anywhere in the world and you can enjoy leisure. You can, as a guest, you can enjoy, and also in the homes, you can actually buy a home and be here. You can, and then they talk about your lifestyle, because these are all lifestyle components, and living, because living encompasses everything. You know, so leisure lifestyle living is where we are now, and it's putting everything together, the creative with real estate. And that's where we are now, and that's where we're going to be for quite some time.
Romae, you're involved a lot in the creative side of the business. You're the Pulse Models, Caribbean Fashion Search, all of those various things. What part of that new direction speaks to you the most?
Well, I think piggybacking on what Kingsley said about just the amalgamation of all of those, lifestyle speaks to a habit, an attitude, what you do, how you live. And I think we are at the stage now where we're able to incorporate all of that into that lifestyle.
And Safia, so Pulse Homes and the real estate branch, those are your babies. How does that fit into this?
I think it's really the melting pot for everything. We talk about Villa and I, just how special it is, how unique it is, the tranquility of a Villa and I. You want to reside there.
And of course, we have the ability to move between the two properties.
Exactly.
So, New Kingston, of course, is a commercial center, for banking and so on. And also the whole idea of a city tour. You come down here, the Peter Tosh Museum is here. You can go up to Bob Marley, you go to Devon House. And we're going to have that shuttle service that takes you back and forth between the two. Some people down here can go up to Villa and enjoy those facilities as well. So it's really an all-encompassing combination of all of what Pulse represents coming together in leisure, lifestyle, living.
So we've been talking about the 41-year history a lot. And Kingsley started telling me about those early days, and it was just the office, and he had one big, and now we have this sprawling and thriving compound. Like, I didn't even know there was all that stuff to the back until I walked back there just now. Tell me about those early days. How was Pulse founded?
We started live putting on events. I think it's fair to say that I've been blessed with some creative talent, and so exactly, and so a lot of these ideas came and one flowed out of another.
And you're actually an attorney.
I'm an attorney. Started putting on events, concerts, fashion shows, and that led to us needing to have models because of the fashion shows, and so we started the modeling competition, the first model search, and the model agency, because having discovered these models, I have to do something with them. And it wasn't just about sitting down in Jamaica. We always think global, we always think international, we always think of going as far as we can go. And so that is how the international agency started. And that is what made Pulse first an international entity. The success of our models. I've always loved music, and I used to be a DJ, and I was into music. Super Jam came about. We brought the Commodores to Jamaica in 82 or 83, one of those years. And I remember one of the Commodores, and the Commodores were the number one band in the world at the time.
Well, you're too hot to track, yeah, baby. Well, you're too hot to stop. Whoa, baby.
When Lionel Richie was with the group, and they had things like that big song that year with Diana Ross and Lionel, Endless Love, and she had written for Kenny Rogers. It was a massive thing. This group only played stadiums around the world. And so they said, they can't believe it. How can you, at 26 at the time, 27, be promoting the Commodores? They just couldn't understand it, because you couldn't be a Commodores promoter unless you were one of the big promoters in America or in Europe. I knew the manager of the Commodores. I got to know him through somebody I met in fashion.
Links, you pull your links.
The Jamaican way. That's the Jamaican way, right?
So basically you flew them in, like they had to have their own plane coming in, right?
Well, they came in. We booked out the first class on a Air Jamaica plane, and then a lot of seats. But we had to fly their equipment in. We had to lease a cargo plane, and I thought it was the propeller plane, cargo plane, to bring in their equipment.
Wow.
Because the kind of production they had, Jamaica wasn't capable of. We didn't have the technology to do it, and so it was just quite amazing. But these are the.
So how did that show go? Like, was it a sold out? Where did you have it?
It was supposed to be 2 nights in the stadium. It ended up being 1 night in the arena. We had rain for the entire month, so the stadium wasn't cutting it. Let me tell you, Jamaica was totally on edge. I mean, the only thing that was happening in Jamaica at that time was the Commodores concert. And we had billboards out. You just imagine a concert. Even now, you don't have too many concerts where you have billboards all over the place. I mean, the Commodores, and it just had Commodores. That's it.
That's all
Commodores.
Say, right?
And they had that on one of their albums was like that, just the Commodores. So it was, people were waiting with bated breath.
Little did Kingsley know that one phone call would announce that the event he had slavishly planned for months would be derailed.
The night before the show, those days we didn't have cell phones, right? We got a call in the office somewhere in the arena from my sister who was actually visiting. The Commodores had called. They had just done their show in Miami because they're doing Miami and then hop over to Jamaica. And I said, what is it? She said, yeah, this guy's going to call you. And she gave me number.
The call, Kalilah, the call.
Waiting.
And this is the, and not even the manager who I know, you know, not him calling, it's the booking agent. You get the booking agent to call. Say, Kingsley, Lionel is sick. Do you want to do the show without Lionel or you want to put it off?
Oh my goodness.
Of course, it's the night before the show now. You know, we're in the arena putting in all of this stuff that day, you know. And I said, we'll do the show. Of course, putting it off is a joke. I mean, you know, the whole of Jamaica.
Planned everything.
If you go tell people, boy, they say, oh, man's a fraud. I mean,
And you already pre-sold
come on,
tickets.
I mean, the Commodores, we knew he couldn't do it. You know, it was never going to happen. You know, so I said, no, you have to come. And they came. We had a press conference at the airport. Lionel wasn't sick, but Lionel was leaving the group.
Oh.
And no, everybody's looking over Lionel Richie.
Oh my goodness.
But I tell you something, we had the press conference and tickets were selling like crazy. I mean, it was like, you know, it was money hand over fist coming in. I mean, of course, you spend an immense amount of money to do it. And when we announced it, that Lionel was not going to be there, we had a few people coming to get back the money. But we sold more tickets between then and the event than we had sold in any other day. Now, that is normal. You always sell a lot more tickets on the day. And plus, a lot of people like to see the artist here first before they spend the money. Because, you know, they're not taking any chances. It was an incredible show because they have an incredible show.
The Commodores' 1977 smash hit Brick House would later be one of the group's many downfalls, as their greatness also revealed large egos. The tipping point came just 5 years later when lead singer Lionel Richie left the group in 1982 to pursue a solo career. Now let's get back to our topic, leisure, lifestyle living, shall we?
So people would never even think of that when you think of Pulse, you know, because everybody thinks about fashion and models and so on. Now we're talking about real estate. But the idea, you see, I was really a music man. You know, that was what was in my blood. And so, you know, the concerts were important to me.
So at what point did you realize this is it for me? Forget my law degree. Or do you still practice?
No, that was I practiced now, interestingly, but just for special clients and for Pulse. But I had forgotten that from law school. When everybody was busy beating books for final exams, and so I was handing out dance invitations. I used to be the resident DJ.
So why did you even do law? Is just traditional people say you should be a lawyer?
No, my mother was a school teacher. Both my sisters are school teachers. You know, we're big on education.
Right.
And in terms of what do you do, you know, I was happy to do law. We were in the first year that did law in the West Indies, in the Caribbean, when they were opening the Caribbean Law School. It, to me, was the best thing you could do as a skill, put it that way. So to this day, my law training serves me very well.
I'm sure.
That was the early days of Pulse. And then the fashion came in, the models came in, the model searches. And for a long time, we did concerts, you know, for many years. And Super Jam went on after. And then that's why when we had Pepper Seed and MVP, we just knock off these concerts because it's a part of the DNA of Pulse.
So how does Kingsley feel about passing the torch?
Well, there comes a time. And the fact of the matter is that whereas I thought I would retire some years back, I know I can't really retire. But what I want to make sure is that the transition is solid. Because even if I transition not out of the business completely, but into other areas, because I'm also director of special projects, I know that the company is in safe hands and is being well run. And so, you know, that time that I've spent with them, I think I'm helping them to understand all the nuances and to prepare themselves for the time when it will be just the two of them.
Right, well, we're certainly very grateful for being in this space and having Kingsley's knowledge translated to us, to continue this great tradition of excellence that he began. Because, I mean, when you think about it, starting Pulse 41 years ago, this vision of, certainly from the modeling side, of taking young people and giving them an opportunity well beyond their wildest dreams to be on the cover of Vogue, or to even imagine working in a space internationally, to be able to earn a living, make way for their parents, enhance their communities. That developmental work is so critical. We have a lot to give thanks to Kingsley for in terms of his vision for bringing that to life and helping to be so transformative, because a lot of times I think people don't look at Pulse in this kind of transformative kind of way. We're a business, we're looking at the bottom line, obviously, for shareholders.
Number one stock on the stock exchange in 2020.
Yes.
But we're really proud of our corporate social responsibility, as they call it, because that is so core and intrinsic to what Pulse is, in terms of taking young people and transforming their lives in a real way, and real in terms of how they act, in terms of how they work in careers, and also financially.
To add to what Romae has said too, I think for me, and I think I shared this in my previous interview with you, is about the innovation and the ability to think beyond what you see in front of you. I think that's a gem that, it doesn't get translated a lot when you're in environments, but our chairman has been very transformational, but that genius streak of innovation and ever changing to meet, even to preempt the need, because nobody could tell us that we'd be in 2020 with a pandemic called COVID-19. But we have been in that period where we're prepared, not for COVID, but prepared generally for growth and success. So I think that innovative gene there's something there that it really is what has also helped to transform our business, and will keep it growing.
And we have an awesome responsibility, and we're well aware of that
those shoes, I'm a mere 8.5. So imagine filling those shoes.
What's the vision that you have for taking this company into the future?
That's a very good question, actually. And for me, my number one priority, 41 years to where you are today, is doubling that success. And that for me is very core, very close to me, because you're standing on the heads of a giant. So being able to translate and to take it beyond where we are today is my number one challenge. And I think bringing that within the vision, all of the pillars that we've spoken about, the lines of business, is really building on those areas and really fortifying the company and being here for another 41 years plus. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
It's good to hear, because I believe the company is in very safe hands. And I think we have done enough in terms of a structure, and the lines of business really are lines of opportunities. And there is really no limit, if you think about it, in which any of those lines of business can go. We can just go and go and go.
Nice. Yeah. Well, I sure look forward to hearing some more about the different aspects of the business. Thank you guys a whole lot.
It's a pleasure. We had a chance to talk about things that we haven't spoken about in a long time.
The future sure looks bright for Pulse. On our next episode, we'll find out more about Pulse TV and how they're pivoting.
Let's get this money.